Howdy folks, and welcome back. I'm the Creepy Kentuckian. Today on the review, we are taking a look at a set that I have just been enjoying for the last couple of days, watching some of these movies again for the first time in many years. With this review, guys, I want to take you back to the glory years, the 1980s, the mid-1980s, when Canon Pictures and Golan Globus and Chuck Norris were king. This box set recently came out from our good friends over at Kino Lorber. It's part of their Kino Lorber Studio Classics line. And man, it's a gorgeous set. We're going to talk about all these movies. But Missing in Action, the complete trilogy, it's in this box set from our good friends over at Kino. I know a lot of people are huge Chuck Norris fans. I'm not the biggest Chuck Norris fan, but I enjoy Chuck. I am down with the Chuckster. And these movies here may be among some of my favorite releases, favorite Chuck Norris movies. And they're movies that I have not seen in a long time. So I was very excited when Kino announced this edition here, this box set. They did release individual releases with individual slips for all you guys out there that want them individually. If you want to save a little bit of money, you can get them in this box set. But we're going to go through the movies individually. It's 3 separate movies. They're all very similar. Missing in Action, right? Chuck Norris versus Vietnam, basically. That's what you're getting. You're getting Colonel Braddock taking on the evil entities of Vietnam. We're going to go through the 3 movies individually here, and then we'll talk about just the overall package, the price point for this set, and why I think that all of you guys should pick this one up. The first movie out of this set, the original Missing in Action. Now, a funny little tidbit about this movie. This, upon filming, was the sequel initially. I think the story was the producers preferred this movie over what was originally the first movie, which ended up being Missing in Action 2, The Beginning. I know it's kind of confusing, but this one was the first one that was released, directed by Joseph Zito, starring, of course, Chuck Norris. He is the lead in all these movies. Chuck Norris plays General James Braddock, who was a prisoner of war in Nam, and now the government has hired him to go back over to Vietnam and try to find the other POWs that are still over there. They still believe there could be some that's alive. And it's all up to this man right here, Chuck, and his skipper-like buddy, Tuck. Chuck and Tuck, played by M. Emmett Walsh. They're taking on Nam. Basically, it's Chuck by himself. I mean, M. Emmett Walsh is just kind of like a cannon fodder, if you will, to tons of explosions, as you can see on the cover, and Chuck with thousands and thousands of rounds of ammunition to kill more Vietnamese soldiers. And there we go with Missing in Action 1 from 1984. This movie for sure is the best of the 3. It's a lot of fun. There's a particular scene too where Chuck rips the clothes off of this young lady, just like it's nothing, like he's done it a gazillion times, and I'm sure he has. He's the ultimate badass, Chuck Norris is. The picture quality on this one was fantastic. It does include audio commentary with the director, Joseph Zito. Fun fact, the same year, Joseph Zito also directed what would become one of the more popular Friday the 13th sequels, in Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Same year as Missing in Action. There's also an interview with screenwriter James Bruner and a theatrical trailer on this. Picture quality, like I said, looks really, really good. These aren't the biggest budget movies, but they have tons of explosions, tons of action. Yeah, lots of good stuff. Second one up in this set is Missing in Action 2, The Beginning, which has to be one of the earlier prequels for any movie that I've ever seen. Now, these were shot pretty much back to back with Missing in Action 1, and this was initially the first movie. This one's pretty much what you would expect. I mean, it follows Braddock as he was captured in Nam in the 70s and his torture in the prison camps and everything. There's some fun casts in this. Professor Toru Tanaka, professional wrestler, was in this one. Stephen Williams, it's another Friday the 13th connection there. He was in Jason Goes to Hell the Final Friday. He is in this. It is directed by Lance Hull, who also did Steel Dawn, which is another killer movie of this era. It's more of the same. I mean, lots of explosions, stuff like that. But I agree with Golan Globus, the producers. This is by far the inferior movie to the Joseph Zito Missing in Action. There is audio commentary here with the director Lance Hull. It's moderated by film historian and filmmaker Daniel Kramer, and a theatrical trailer. The third and final entry actually was filmed 3 or 4 years after the first two movies. This one is simply called Braddock, Missing in Action 3. And story with this one is, again, it involves, all these stories involve Vietnam. They don't try to switch countries or anything, which I think is fun. But even before the events of the first two Missing in Action films, we learned that Braddock was married to a Vietnamese woman. And ultimately, he believes that she was killed. And this part's in the mid-1970s. Braddock, it's Vietnam, all kinds of explosions and gunfire and chaos everywhere. And amongst the chaos, Braddock believes that his wife was murdered in one of the explosions and that she's been dead all this time. And then he comes to find out that no, his wife is still alive and being held in a Vietnamese prison camp, along with the son that he never knew. 12 years old now at this point. And now Braddock is back. He's pissed off at the Vietnamese. He is coming to destroy Vietnam again, to see how many more bodies will pile up so he can get his wife, get his son back, and ride off into the sunset, boss. This one's directed by Aaron Norris, which Chuck Norris did pretty much all of his later stuff in his career with his brother, Aaron. And man, this is the worst one. This is the worst one. It's still fun. It's got some hokey crap in it. But, man, they're really grasping for straws with Braddock Missing in Action 3. Now, again, it's fun, it's cheesy, it's along the lines of what you want with a Missing in Action movie. But for sure, it didn't need to happen. It didn't need to be made. But, hey, it's fun. This one, again, is from 1988. It includes audio commentary with action film historians Mike Leader and Arn Venema, and a theatrical trailer. So Kino did at least throw some commentaries and stuff like that in this set for you guys to check out. Now, like I'd said earlier, there are individual releases of this. So if you're not a fan of one or the other, you can get them all individually, and they also come with separate slipcovers if you get them individually. Or if you're like me and you just want them all in one thick box, this is the one you need to get. Kino did an amazing job with this release. I love all of these movies in their own way. Chuck Norris, man, like in that time frame in the mid 80s, you had, the Karate Commandos cartoon. You had the Delta Force movies. You had Invasion USA, which you also did with Joseph Zito. And these Missing in Action movies, anything that Chuck Norris was in at this time was gold. He is not the most charismatic dude, but it works in his favor. He's an ass-kicking badass that is not going to take shit from anybody. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate this set, guys. This is a hell of an addition to get if you're a fan of these sort of movies. These running around the jungle, blowing shit up, grenades, machine guns, explosions, all movie long. Then this set is definitely one that you want to get. It gets the highest recommendation from me. Check it out today, and be sure to check us out. We're over at deadpit.com. Give us the thumbs up.
Up your butt.
Like, subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a if you do.
I want you to. I want you to.
I don't care.
Let's keep our community growing here on YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to do nothing.
Listen, they need to do that, pal.
No, don't you dare touch it.
Thumbs up. Subscribe. And click that bell.
Hey everyone, it's Oak Early Jaws. We got some great shirts for you. We got Faces of Death Part 2. We got Creepy Stories to Tell in Kentucky. The Colonel Would Approve. We also got deadpit.com. We got Dead Pit Radio with the little fucking Dead Pit dude on there. We got It Never Ends, a Halloween spoof parody of the new movie. We got It at Night. We got the Rat Pack, Uncle Rat himself. It just gets better and better, so go on and get you some shirts over at Team Public. It just gets better and better, boss.
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. Deadpit on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows and fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.